What's up guys, this is Void of Just Gaming, your channel for fresh Arena of Valor content, and on the channel has been a favor asked. Please play Florentino once in a while, and I promise to play him on screen when I'm in the stream again, but as I can't really figure out when I will have time to stream, I pre-recorded a video, Florentino versus Florentino, and this is the gameplay that you guys are going to see today. And as a spoiler, we've been playing as well the Darkbreaker build as well as the enchantments. I think he has done a really good job on choosing the stuff for Florentino, and I think the whole game can be pretty sufficient. I'm a bit rusty when it comes to the mechanics of Florentino. That's my excuse that I put every single time in front of the video when I play Florentino, but I'm quite old, so be a little bit patient with me and don't blame me in the comments for being slow. My brain doesn't work that well anymore. If you enjoyed the video and if you want to see more Arena of Valor content, just hit the subscribe button, put on the notification bell, give a thumbs up if you like the video, and if you've got anything like advice or something, put it down in the description below. Thank you and enjoy the gameplay. Alright guys, here's the build, and as you can see, it's pretty decent. We've built in Florentino a little bit tankier than some of the builds advise you to. For example, if you take this build, there's much more damage in there, but we want to have that nice and neat sustain between being tanky on the one hand with the first 4 items, while Hercules Madness is some kind of hybrid item, giving us a little bit more attack damage on the one hand and some armor on the other hand. But we're having the best of 2 worlds. We were being tanky, that means we can soak up some damage, and on the other hand we're using our abilities as well as Omni Arms and the Fenrir's Tooth as the final blow. That said, we are mixing Arcana and our enchantments quite as well. So in the Arcana section we only have damage stuff, so we have normal attacks plus 45, armor pierce plus 100, movement speed plus 10%. That comes from 10 times Onslaught, we have 10 times Assassinate, and we've got 10 times Skewer. And to kind of mix that hybrid build, we are having a mix of Lorkheim and Afata giving us the best sustain in the world. Therefore, we're using his damage abilities, Shadow Blade, super good. Movement ability, we do have that too. And the ultimate, which is a movement ability that comes in all the time, as well as our passive, stacking up quite nicely. It's always re-proccing that Shadow Blade. We have Deadly Claw for some additional attack damage, and we're using the Desperate Duel for some HP coverage and some armor pierce. And on the other hand, we are having the Tower's Blessing and the regrowth, because our true damage heals us while we are using our abilities, and that's where Florentino really shines. He's quite low, attacking, stabbing, doing riposte all the time, doing this kind of lunge movement where you move towards the enemy, and that helps you to regrowth, and that means that you can sustain just a little bit longer on the lane, making him quite versatile. That's the build. Here comes the gameplay. Alright, let's go. We are Florentino versus Florentino on the solo lane. We have a pretty decent team consisting of Zephys in the jungle. We've got Ras the powerhouse in the mid lane. We've got Laville and Sephara, who has proven to be a really good support on the duo lane. And let's see how this turns out in the end. As I said, I am up against another Florentino, and Florentino is always, I feel he's quite tricky to play against, because he has this great movement, jumping around, and he can use that in his favor. And as I'm not the most experienced Florentino player out there in the world, I was a little bit concerned about this matchup, because I didn't know what to expect. Maybe he was like the pro player, maybe he was a rookie such as I am, but the first encounter was enough for me to retreat here. Yes, now retreat. Okay, I'm going for the first blood, and I do get the reward for being a little bit too aggressive, standing a little bit too close to the tower, and we had a Mexican draw. Both Florentinos are dead, but I was lucky to score the first blood on the Florentino, so I got a little bit more gold than he has. As you can see here, 50 more gold in total. And of course I want to abuse this on my way to defeat him to get more gold than he has. Missing my first shot here. He's already level 3. Loading up my health here. And now we have Zephyrs to come in and join the party. And why I'm a little bit concerned about tower diving, because I'm fairly low, I let Zephyrs do the job, and I went on to do some farming and get some vision for the team. Jumping around like a crazy Florentino, and lucky for us, Zephyrs got him without retaliation. There's no one who can strike back on Zephyrs, and that's the problem. Like, Florentino is so quick and so nimble that you have to be careful playing him, especially if you are not as experienced as I know that, like, I'm not experienced. So if you're not an experienced player, you need to be a little bit careful about your positioning and where you want to strike. If someone is an experienced Florentino player and has some tips about this kind of movement, give it a shot in the comments. Help out other players to get the most out of Florentino, as he is such a nice hero and he's just so brutal. Okay, he's missing his shot. So what my tactics is right at this point, when I'm going duel, I always want Florentino to activate one or two of his abilities to then strike back and retaliate. And really nice job here from my team. Florentino jumps in and we get all the damage on them, and I'm able to score 2 kills in a row, which is really satisfying. Not 2 kills, I've already had 1 kill, so I have another kill. So I have just increased the gold lead on Florentino a little bit, and I will show you that in about a second. One comment stuff in one of my videos just said, like, Void, it's nice if you say someone has an advantage and stuff like that, but it would be actually really nice if you show it in the numbers. So what I'm trying to do more often in my videos is to show you the overview, where you can see the kill death ratio as well as the gold that the characters have at the moment, so that you guys have a better overview on what was happening throughout the game. And here comes a heavy Florentino engage. And again, I don't want to be too close to Florentino, because that would just mean that I would jump into the tower, and I was quite happy on fighting him here, and Raz finishes him off quite nicely. But I think I would have had the advantage to kill him in this 1 versus 1 as well without Raz's help. But of course it's nice to seal the deal without any complications. So, oh my goodness, need to get out here, and that's why I'm using flicker on him and not anything else. I could have moved to the bush here instead of exposing myself a little bit, because all in all the tower dive from Xenos would have killed me if Xenos was about to dive. But lucky for me, he did not think about it, so I was safe and sound going back to base, and now I'm back on track against a Manganga, who is not the nicest matchup that you want to have. These slows and poison, that is something that's really a nuisance. So I went for the Mail of Pain here, because I was just thinking that I might be actually fighting against Florentino a lot, and therefore I wanted to have some kind of shield against him, punish him for every attack that he is able to land on me, and therefore I was going with that. And as we have 2 mages in the enemy team, Dio-chan as well as Maganga, I was now completing the build, building up some magic resistance, and therefore I was choosing the Medallion of Troy, and you do get a nice shield. So we reckon down the tower without any attention from the enemy team. That was actually quite easy. I thought that they might just come down and have a look what I'm doing to their tower. But Florentino is heavily roaming into the mid lane, trying to defend something here, while Dio-chan is not available. And now I need to get out. Mistake here. And I'm trying to aim something, but now I'm going back to the solo lane. At least I'm pointing towards that, trying to make a move, but actually it's no good. Like, there's nothing that I can do against two players under the tower. So I need to be careful right here. Sephora tries to land one of her stuns on the enemy team, but we do not have enough minion power to get in, and therefore it is best to call it a day and go back to your lane where you can farm up, because that's like the stuff that you want to happen. Like, you want kills on the one hand, and then you want to have the farm on the other hand. Not only pushing lanes, but also getting some gold for your items, because you want that gold lead to happen. And as you can see, it worked quite well. Like, Florentino spent so much time on the middle lane where he was sharing experience points with the Dio-chan that I'm now able to outperform him by at least one level. And now I need to be a little bit careful, because he's dashing back and forth, going straight under tower again. And as he is using the same enchantments as I do, he does get a bonus from the tower. And again, I'm using the abilities quite poorly, so that I was dashing back into the tower again, and a tower shot can just be that small amount of dying or not dying. And now I need to get out. Flickered wrong, in the wrong direction here. It was just a little bit too short, and therefore I was killed. Unlucky me, but then I wasn't playing it that well. Having a drink to keep my voice in shape. As you can see, I've already got about 1,000 gold more than the other Florentino, and that comes from occupying another lane and sharing gold as well as experience points. And that's something that you should not do for quite a long time, because it's just gonna get you to fall back in theory. Level wise, he has just received an upgrade because he was fighting. Now we're going in, and I think I set it up quite nicely for my team, doing a lot of damage here actually, resulting in another dead Florentino. And that's always a good thing. Like, if he doesn't survive, if he gets killed in the process in a duo situation, I will always have the upper hand, because I just have more levels and more items. And it's also helping me in team fights, because I can support my team a little bit better. And that said, we don't have a real tank in this team composition. And you can just see how much damage we deal if we are combining our forces. And I don't know what my intention was at this point. Like, I was going in, but then look at that. Like, we're doing so much damage. Sephora really nice. And lucky for us, we scored a double kill. And you can see it in the results. 24 versus 5. That is actually quite brutal. And we're going for an Abyssal Dragon here, because there's nothing that the enemy can do against it. And that's also smart gameplay. You want to occupy the objectives, you want to score them whenever the enemy doesn't have the chance to. And that's resulting in another nice Omni-Arms that I have just switched out in the process, because I wanted to have a little bit more damage and a little bit more sustain by just getting the package, this nice little package from the Omni-Arms. Getting some farm here. Zephyrus was defeated because he was just standing a little bit too low in the enemy jungle. He just exposed himself a little bit too much. I think he wanted too much, trying to get some stuff from the enemy jungle, and that's always helpful if it succeeds. But if it doesn't succeed, of course, that can just force stuff on your team. And I was just being a little bit too exposed as well, and therefore I wasn't able to get out, so I had to deal with that death. Happens. Things like that do happen. Florentino is quite far behind in terms of gold. So as you can see, 1,500 gold more than Florentino has, and that's almost an item. And you can see that in the items as well. Like if you want to have a closer look, just pause the video at this point and you will see the statistics and you will have a nice, neat overview on what happened throughout the game. We're struggling a little bit at this point of the game, and we're closing in on the late game stage on really focusing on one single point, combining our actions and forcing that strength upon the enemies in terms of pushing. We have been separated, like Zephyrus has been up top, someone has been in the middle, so we're roaming, but that's not really that helpful. But I can help Zephyrus here to finally kill Florentino, and we are on our way to get the build done. Unfortunately, I do not get the kill here, but RoV is just devastating and pushing through, getting the damage in here. Unfortunately, the Vil was killed in this fight, but we shut down Maganga, and as you can see, 31 versus 8. That's quite a game. I can just advise every new player to Florentino, and that goes for me as well, to kind of practice his movements, practice the positioning, trying to pick up the flowers and then just pull off some really nice combos, but that needs some practice. You can't do it just single-handedly by jumping in and out. That's just not how it works. And as you can see, I'm not really that good on it. So yeah, don't be too mad. Of course, you guys who are more experienced with different heroes will have the upper hand. You will know what to do and you will see what I could do better. But if you see something like that, put it down in the comments below and try to help out other players, because that's what I want to achieve with this channel. Like, I don't want to have natural born pro players, but I want to give some advice for players who are new to heroes, who want to try out new heroes, and every single piece of advice just helps them. So don't be cocky, just give some nice opinion on what you would do different or what you would do with Florentino at first if you are a nice person. So as I said, we're trying slowly to close in on the towers. Laville and Zephyrus are on the Florentino. I don't know what he did. Like, I should have just pointed the camera to this point because I was dead. As you can see right now, that was a little bit too short. You need to pause the game to see the actual outcome on how much gold everyone has. But then I was falling behind. Like, RoV, as you have eventually saw, it is now on 9-something-ish gold. What's really strange is that Zephyrus doesn't have that much gold, but I don't think that he has that many kills. So that's something. And now I'm just trying to pot shot them with my wand, trying to open up a window to go in, because we don't have a real tank. Therefore, it just means that I have to tank some of the stuff that's coming in on our team. But we do have quite a strong poke force with Sephara as well as RoV, who is just a poke champion, poking enemies to death. He will be a little bit nerfed in the upcoming update, but I don't think that this is gonna be sufficient to stop him in his tracks. Like, he's still going to be a force to be reckoned with, and I think he will still see a nice playtime. There we go. Now I'm going in, dashing out some damage, trying to open up a window for my team, and my team manages to get Zephyrus without any effort, and that just means that we can now start to go in on the tower, because 2 of our team members are almost full, and that's the first tower of the game, and that's basically the end of it. We have almost 40 kills more. I'm the worst player gold wise, but their Florentino is worse, so that just means that I'm having more items. More items means more tankiness, as I've shown in the build section before, and of course more damage, but I'm focusing on the tank stuff at the moment of this game because it's just gonna help my team. Of course, if you're dead, you can't get gold, and that's unfortunate, but sometimes you have to sacrifice yourself. Abyssal Dragon has been killed again. Really nice work from Xaphus. Like, he uses every single opportunity to score an objective for us, and Raz and I are now up on the Darkslayer because the enemy team is so focused on defending, and with Labil and Safari we have 2 enemies, and now comes something special. Look at that. I'm stopping Xanis in his tracks, scoring a kill here for Raz, and now we are able to get Darkslayer without any problem. And I'm using this bird to get some health back. Again, you do have some health regen if you are using your attacks. You can see that from the numbers incoming. Like, it's not as strong as it used to be after some nerfs. Florentino had to take that, but doesn't matter. He's still pretty strong if you know how to use him, because he's just so freaking mobile. And that's basically the game. Da-da-dam, 1 lunge from me, and here we go, ladies and gentlemen. That was the game. Turning around the screen a little bit, just to make things a little bit more entertaining. And as you can see, Sephara is MVP. Well played. I do get some stuff back here. Everyone gets a thumbs up, obviously. And here we go with the stuff. Here you can see the build, and here's the fight participation. And yep, thanks guys for watching it, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.